life is freaking crazy, okay? Like 1 minute, you're just running, hiking, riding, and doing all the things that bring you joy, and then all of a sudden, bam, something tragic happens, and it sends you spiraling. That's what this year has been like for me. Everything was going well until the beginning of April, when my family's dog very abruptly died. It was brutal, and it was probably the worst thing I've ever had to experience. That's definitely saying something because I've already been thrown curveballs before. I developed depression and an eating disorder as a teenager. I dropped out of college twice. I went to treatment centers and psychiatric hospitals. I've been in therapy for 10 plus years now, dealing with all my mental crap, and it hasn't been all rainbows and puppies. But this tragic experience was beyond horrible to live through, and I've been trying to pick up the shattered pieces of my world ever since. I saw all the national parks in Utah during a road trip out west, thinking nature was the answer to making me feel better. It was a start. When I got back, I immediately threw myself into training for a trail half marathon that's coming up this September. I'm really, really good at that, setting lofty goals to divert my attention from some sort of emotional pain that I'm trying to outrun. The underlying bottomless pit of grief lurking in the background is beautifully snuffed by miles and miles of trail. I know it's not the best way to cope, but it's either that or I fall headfirst into the darkness, and I can't do that. If I do that, I may never find my way back. So far, these clips show the highlights of the past few weeks in my life. I'm a pet sitter and dog walker, so most of my days revolve around when dogs pee and poop. But I also get to play with them and get face licks. It's a great job for someone prone to depressive thoughts. Dogs provide endless love. However, their stories also never have a happy ending. The heartbreak of loss is unbearable sometimes. And I think that's why I gravitate toward the outdoors. The trails will always be there no matter what. That and they don't die, and you can show up at the trailhead looking like a hot mess and the trees don't care. I feel free. I feel the most like myself when I'm hiking and running through the woods. Or at least I can feel the gentle parts of myself, the parts that hold compassion and daydream about the future and show kindness for the other rougher parts. I am full of so much sunlight and yet also full of so much darkness. It's the dark that scares me the most. I am capable of self-destruction. I'm prone to self-hatred. I have a nasty habit of people-pleasing so much I can't see my own reflection sometimes. Just erase me, I scream into the universe. Erase me so I don't have to feel anymore. But things don't work like that. My therapist says I need to put myself first. But how can I put myself first when I feel like I'm not worth it? I don't know. These are the things I ask myself. I'm working on healing the broken, aching parts of myself, but it's hard. It's so hard. So I run, and I hike, and I write, take my dog for long walks, and I make tasty foods for dinner, and I go to therapy, and then I fall more in love with the trails every time I'm on them. It's this joy that helps ground me when things feel too much. When tragedy strikes, I run to the woods to find myself again. So lately, I've been submerging myself in work. I mean, it hardly feels like work sometimes with pups like these. They are really adorable. I have also been finding joy in trying new foods, like this chicken tikka masala naan wrap that I got from one of my favorite vegan restaurants. And then, of course, there are the trails. I can't stay away. I keep coming back week after week for more. I hike and backpack like I've shown on my Substack and on this YouTube channel. But I've been trying to become a more disciplined trail runner as well. I've run one trail half marathon and a few other races with shorter distances, so I feel like I'm still relatively new to the sport, even though I've been a runner for a long time. Goal number 1 for this year is to do another trail half marathon, and then if that doesn't kill me, and when I'm high from the type 2 fun afterwards, I'll probably sign up for a full trail marathon. I've been looking at one that takes place in December, so I feel like I have plenty of time to get prepared. So far, it's been fun to dive into a consistent routine with running again. I am a slow runner by nature. I've always been slow. I really don't care about that. I just like to run. There's a little less pressure with the trails too. I think it can be a more chill environment than the roads or track. You're just out in the woods by yourself for hours and hours at a time, pounding away at the miles. It may seem crazy to outsiders, but it's fun, I promise. Hopefully one day I can get into ultra running. I definitely have to build myself up slowly for something of that magnitude, but honestly, being able to shuffle through the wilderness for literally so long just sounds incredible. Doing races would be fun, but I think what I really want to be able to do is go out on my own adventures and run long distance trails. I don't have a desire, really, to chase after records or FKTs. I just want to be out on the trail for days on end and have a good time. When I'm not running, I'm either walking a dog with an iced coffee in my hand, or I'm making some sort of cool recipe. I eat mostly vegan, so I'm very much a friend of the plants. Load everything up with veggies and tofu and avocado, and I'm one happy person. I made this glass noodle bowl with the help of a Trader Joe's frozen meal, and it was absolutely fire. It was so good. Things like this are what make it a little easier to breathe each day. As someone who deals with a lot of negative self-talk and SI, my brain can become a very scary place pretty quickly. And sometimes a good meal, a nice coffee, and a walk in the neighborhood with my dog helps give me enough reason to keep going, to say yes to another day when things feel too overwhelming. I didn't know this as a kid. As an internally angry yet externally well-behaved adolescent, I didn't know how to cope with adverse thoughts, so I restricted, I purged, I overexercised, or I cut myself because it just seemed like the answers then. It took years to relearn that these maladaptive behaviors work in the short term, but they're not very sustainable long term. Having a hobby to fully immerse yourself into, I think, is the best leap of maturity and the only way to survive adulthood. So I have trail running, hiking, backpacking, riding, and life with my dog to help me be the best version of myself. It's not always a perfect binary, though. A lot of time, the past bleeds into the present and the darkness bubbles up no matter how hard I try to stop it. I can't always outrun the things that have happened. I can try to forget the death of my family's dog, but even so, I close my eyes at night and still relive the moments. The excruciating details of something so horrific. I'm learning how to move through it without drowning, but it's hard. How do you process something that shouldn't have happened? How do you make sense of all the bad things that happen in life? I really don't know. But I do know that just like with the trails, I have to keep putting one foot in front of the other until I'm out. If anything hiking and trail running has taught me, it's that I'm more resilient than I think I am. I have this beautiful capacity to dig deep when things get tough, and the confidence to decide how the game ends. Do I refuse to move and give up, or do I keep going and finish? Sometimes it feels like I don't have much of a choice. I mean, come on, I'm in the middle of the freaking woods. The only way out is through. But I have to remind myself, I always have a choice, and I always choose to keep going. In short, life is brutal, but we have joy. We have watermelon on hot summer days. We have ice cream with flavors that burst in our mouth. We have love and friendships and people in our lives to share the joy with. And we have the trails. For now, the trails are my answer. So soon, my dog Honey and I will be section hiking another part of the Ozark Trail, so stay tuned for that. You can also check me out on Substack if you want as well. And as always, see you out on the trail.